So I've been using Linux for like the past 30 days, and so I kind of wanted to like do like the Linux challenge with other YouTubers and what have you, and I kind of wanted to give my 2 cents on everything. So there are some major drawbacks to Linux. I do want to get into that at the beginning of this video, and then after I go through those major drawbacks, we can kind of talk about things, and then you can kind of make the decision of whether or not you want to switch to Linux. So let's get into a few of the major drawbacks that I have personally run into. And then we'll talk about some minor setbacks, and then we will go from there. So for the most part, using Linux has been relatively smooth. And so when I say major drawbacks, these aren't like major show-stopping bugs like I've had in the past. It has been so much better than it ever has been. But that being said, it's still quite rough around the edges. I have a picture here that I took. Screenshot? Yeah, here it is. So when I was installing was it VMware Workstation, I had to do it from the terminal. There's a few things I've had to do from the terminal. Like I've had to install like the NVIDIA drivers from the terminal. I had to enable some repos here in Fedora. Now I know that there are other distributions of Linux out there, and for you, you might have to go and search around a bit and find your distro if you want to do all that. See, I've got this kind of set up how I want it, so I'm not really going to touch it. I'm not really going to switch distros or anything like that. Mid-cycle like this, I like what I have. It's working. It does its own thing. That being said, one of the major issues that I faced early on was Python having a massive hemorrhage of crap. Yeah, it had a crap hemorrhage where it absolutely just wouldn't run World of Warcraft unless I launched some things from the terminal using some arguments and stuff like that. I don't have any screenshots of that. And unfortunately, I don't have any video of that. I didn't really catch it. I didn't think to like open OBS and record it, but it was a pain in the butt. That being said, there was an update yesterday that fixed it. And it's been fine ever since. I've been playing World of Warcraft all day. Today I played all night last night. It's been fine. It's been serviceable. So that being said, one of the major drawbacks of Linux is still like that, the variants of distros out there. And another major issue that I faced with my RTX 50 series card here, I'll prove what I have. ABOUT. Is that it was having some bugs with GNOME. It does work with Wayland, though, on KDE Plasma. Right now, we are currently running the latest version of KDE Plasma on Fedora 43. You can see here. So, kernel version 6.18. So, take that as you will. So, yeah. Another kind of major drawback for me is I cannot, for the life of me, edit the properties of my camera, my webcam here, without it freezing. And we're going to turn the webcam off for the rest of this video. I just wanted to catch this on recording so that you understand what it is I'm talking about. So let's get into this. So we're going to go ahead here, and we're going to go right here. We're in OBS Studio. And it doesn't seem to matter whether I'm in OBS Studio or if I'm using any other kind of webcam app. Now, this doesn't do this on Windows, and it doesn't do it on Mac. It only seems to do it on Linux for some reason. There's just like Linux has a lot of these little like issues that I don't like. So as we can go in here, the only way I can get this to run at 30 frames per second, even though it's a 1080p 30 frames per second webcam, is the only way I could run it is at 640 by 480. So if we were to like knock this up here, it's only going to be like 5 per second. Yep, 5, and then the camera freezes. Now the recording's still going, and I could discard it, but it doesn't seem to matter. So yeah, that's kind of a major pain in the butt. So for the rest of this video, we're just going to go ahead and minimize OBS so you don't have to sit here and just look at a hallway of things. So what do I have installed here? We didn't really install like a whole lot. I installed like Proton, I installed Steam, I installed World of Warcraft Classic Edition. I installed OBS. I've been streaming from OBS just without my webcam, because the webcam, I just take it off without my monitor, and I never really like mess with it for the most part. Unless I need it for something, it's not really like that required of me for the most part. This isn't default Fedora. Obviously, I have stylized this quite a bit with different icons, wallpaper, and stuff like that. So, I like it. I like the way this looks. This is what I found to like. I was just poking around and changed some things, and this is what I like about Linux. It's like it just kind of changed the icons. I didn't have to install some third-party applications. I literally just downloaded some icons and went into system settings. Here, I just went like global theme, icons. I went and get new icons, and we got the Fluent Red icons. We got Fluent Light. which is blue if you want blue. I got Fluid Red to match the Silver Moon theme of the wallpaper here. So yeah, so we got like some Blood Elf and some Horde going on, and I figured the red would match the, looks kind of pink, but it's fine. I would match the thing. So we're going to edit this video here. I'm not going to edit it live while I'm recording because I can't, but I'm going to download KDENLIVE. From what I was told, KDEN Live is pretty good. So let's look at the Flatpak version. We got version 25.12.2. And we go here to the system, 25.12.2-1. Which one is newer? This one. This one's newer. I always just try to get the newest version of everything. It's not necessarily like a good thing or a bad thing. Sometimes like having the newer version of things can cause some issues. Like here we're going to Proton Plus. No, we don't want Proton Plus. We want Proton Up. Proton, that's what I want. So we'll go in here to Proton Up. 31 isn't unused. I tried using it. I cannot get World of Warcraft. I cannot get Battle.net. Excuse me. I cannot get Battle.net to launch here. Oh, 32. So there was another update. Let's install this update live as we go. And so this is like kind of a minor drawback to Linux, is you got to sit here and mess around with Proton just to get things working. Not really a huge fan of that, but that being said, I don't really care. It's not really like the end of the world if this doesn't work. It works on 29. We're going to leave 29 installed. Might actually remove 30 because 30 is not doing anything for me. No, don't open Steam. Gosh. User error. Alright. How do I remove this? Remove selected? Yeah. Oh, no. Okay, so... Yeah, we'll go ahead and remove that. Because we want 29. I want 30. I want version 30 is what I wanted. Version 30 is the one that's working, I believe. I don't know. We're going to install version 30. I think it's 31 that has the issue, so we're going to remove 31. Oops, my bad. Which version is which here? Let's open Steam and find out. What are we running on here? I think we're on 29, right? Compatibility. 30. Okay, so we're on 30. We're not going to mess with that right now. It's working, and I don't want to screw it up. So, yeah, I mean, using Linux for the most part is just as easy as it is to use like Windows or a Mac. I mean, I have not had any real major issues with it outside of what I had mentioned. One thing I do want to kind of touch on is the whole repository thing. I don't like repositories because if you look here, you got different repositories and you don't know what you're getting. Wait. Why is it? No. And then that just disappeared and I'm no longer able to do, like, I'm no longer able to pick from the drop-down list for some reason. Let's just try this again. So we got 5.2.1-3, 5.2.1, 5.1. So I don't want that old version. I want this version. Gosh. Just little tiny things like that within Linux. I mean, so, I mean, all of this stuff I believe can be fixed. I believe a lot of this stuff can be fixed. And I do kind of want to touch on the whole GNOME thing here. So let's go ahead and find, is it under System? I don't want VMware Player, I want Workstation. So we installed Ubuntu here in VMware Workstation because I could not get... Oh, yeah, it was another thing I want to talk about. I couldn't get, for some strange reason, I could not for the life of me get VirtualBox to work. Like, I could not get VirtualBox to work. And then, apparently... Is this removed from... Yeah, it looks like Fedora knew that there was a problem with VirtualBox and just removed it from the repository, so you can no longer just get VirtualBox from the repositories. Which is good on them for doing that. Sweet. Okay, that's cool. I mean, if you got something that doesn't work, might as well just get rid of it. Now, I like GNOME. I like Ubuntu. But I was forced to switch away from my favorite operating system here simply because GNOME was very, very laggy for some reason. Like, it was super duper slow, and I couldn't figure it out. And I'm like looking online, and people are telling me like, "Well, you got a 50 series NVIDIA card?" Yeah, I do. So there's a bug with the open source drivers. They're, I guess, working on it. I have no idea. I'm not really getting involved. But here's like the desktop I'm kind of used to, like when I'm using a Mac or when I'm using Linux. Yeah, when I'm using a Mac. Don't mind me, I'm tired. So when I'm using Linux, this is just the desktop I'm just kind of used to. And so going to KDE and like this Windows style desktop for me is just kind of a It's really jarring, and I don't like it. I don't like Windows as a rule of thumb. Like, I really like Mac OS. I really like Ubuntu, and I really hope that NVIDIA and GNOME can work out their differences, and we can all just kind of learn to get along and be together as a good family, you know, because I like Linux a lot. I really enjoy using it. For the most part, I like using GNOME. I like this. I like Ubuntu. I like how they've had this set up. I've been using this for years. This is what I'm used to. I kind of know where everything's at. So on and off, I will use Ubuntu, and so this is just kind of what I'm like used to when it comes to Linux. Like, I'm not used to like KDE Plasma, so like if I have to find something, it's kind of a pain in the butt. Nothing is like muscle memory for me at all. Like, I have to like go and search around and click around, and you notice there was like a couple of like small little glitches. Like when I was trying to install that application, there it came my money or whatever. It was like the drop down list just disappeared, and I have no idea why the interface would even do that. So hopefully I will do some research after this video, and I will see if there are, because there's been a bunch of updates, obviously. I will see if NVIDIA driver, the new open source NVIDIA drivers work with GNOME. If not, I'm going to move on and just continue to use Fedora with KDE Plasma right now. I probably switch over to Kubuntu, but I don't really care. I'm not really like in a huge rush to just delete everything off of my computer and switch to a different operating system right at this moment. Everything is working, and I just kind of want to leave it like that. Short of just reinstalling Windows, I'm not going to do that right now. Maybe here in a week or two, when I'm 100% certain that the NVIDIA drivers with GNOME are working, there's no more bugs, there's no more problems, and then I can just switch back to Ubuntu and just be completely happy, because this is what I'm used to. This is like when I use Linux, I know how to change the background. When I use Linux, I know how to like go in and do what I need to do within this. This is nice and clear. I liked Windows 8, so for me this works. I kind of wish there was like a menu, but at the same time, I don't really care. It doesn't affect me in any way, shape, or form. I usually put my files over here, though, just because it's like Mac. I like to stylize it like Mac because it's just what I'm used to. Like if I'm at work, if I'm switching between like Ubuntu and the Mac, it's really like muscle memory at that point. It's like I have to stop and think, like, oh, I'm on Ubuntu, I can't do that on Ubuntu. Or I'm on a Mac and I have to do it this way on Mac. So there's a few things here and there, but I've never really used Linux long term like I have. I've never really just left it installed on my main computer, having it as my main OS for this long. I've always ran into some show-stopping bug that really made using the desktop, well, frankly, unusable. And so I'm glad that things have really taken off in the prior years. Like things like development has been happening at like record pace. People are switching to Linux in droves. I like it for the most part. I like Linux. It runs my games better than Windows, and that's really all that matters at the end of the day. So if you guys got any ideas or any kind of whatever, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. Please feel free to hit the bell icon, and please subscribe to my channel if you like this kind of content. I will be doing more of it, where we kind of go into depth and talk about certain things on Linux. Because I don't know, maybe I'll be a Linux channel if there's any kind of like interest shown in it, but at the same time, I'm not going to just go out of my way for it either. I do not want to just be Linux. I kind of want to do other things too, like video games and what have you, but that's going to be a job for another day. Right now, we're just kind of just giving my initial thoughts and a video of such things. Anyway, peace out. Is this OBS? Yeah, this is OBS.